The space jockey, or the pilot, in the original Alien film is among one of the most classic and iconic movie creatures of all time, and to this day still has an air of mystery to it. Though Prometheus introduced us to the engineers, these pale humanoids who piloted the juggernauts and wore pressurized suits, some of the mystery now removed, some questions still remained. Who was the pilot? Why did he crash? And where was he going? With the events of Alien Covenant now open to the world, and interviews with Ridley Scott confirming that David is the creator of the alien, the xenomorph we know, we are beginning to see a retcon of well-established lore and long-standing fan theories surrounding the alien, the pilot, and his cargo. The age of the pilot was a throwaway line in Alien, appeared fossilized. Therefore, the derelict should be of an age where fossilization can occur. Now knowing the pilot suits are just that, suits, and that the alien was created by David, we know the derelict could not be thousands of years old. In fact, it must be far less than that, roughly 20 years or so. A common fan theory prior to Covenant's release was that Shaw became the pilot in the crashed Juggernaut. This would have made a lot of sense in some ways, bar the size issue. To this day, we have not seen an android infected with an alien embryo, and Shaw could have potentially been fleeing from David when she became infected, leading to the chest burster which caused the crash and the derelict to become the iconic ship we know all too well. Unfortunately, with Shaw now dead, we are left with the potential that David is the crashed pilot. The reasoning for exploring this common theory is that many people believe the reason we are presented with such a heavy biomechanical design to the alien in the original film, and we had a very organic looking alien in Covenant, is due to David somehow mixing himself into the design process. We know from interviews with the designers that the organic look to the alien in Covenant was on purpose, and that they are apparently edging towards the original. So we know that somewhere along the line there is a reason the alien changes from what we saw in Covenant to what we have accepted as the original design. Could David be the pilot? There is a high possibility that Ridley Scott will retcon the events even further and have David as the pilot. He has already not been afraid to explore the origin of the alien itself, and I can't imagine he would have any issues going that step further and saying to us all, David is also the pilot. The only issue with that is what I mentioned before. Androids have never been shown to be prey for facehuggers. Though we don't know Ridley's plan for the future of the franchise, an interesting thought to have is precisely how the original alien came to be, and how did David somehow create the perfect bioorganic organism. If David manages to infect himself with a black pathogen, potentially, somehow, creating a hybrid of himself, retaining his consciousness and becoming more flesh than machine, this could be how the original alien was formed. Although that doesn't answer the question of how the eggs on the derelict ultimately led to the biomech alien regardless of synthetic host or human host. I would like to pose the theory that upon infecting himself, David becomes sort of a vessel for the black pathogen. Much like Eldon does in the Fire and Stone comic run, David may somehow filter the substance through himself, and this could lead to the eggs he creates, ultimately always resulting in the xenomorph we know. Once David has achieved this perfection, as he calls it, he then decides to fly back to Earth to finish his ultimate plan of wiping the human race out. As David is now more flesh than machine, the eggs register him as a potential host and one attacks, leading to the derelict crash site on LV-426. This is but one potential theory I have following the events of Covenant, and I'm so happy I can finally begin sharing these with you due to its wider release. It's going to be an interesting few years now, with a lot of what we know being thrown to one side. It's opened so much more to theories and discussions. So if you've seen Alien Covenant, I want to hear your thoughts on this below in the comment section. Do you think Ridley's plan is to explain the derelict, or do you think they will potentially do a double take and intentionally leave that ambiguous and a mystery moving forwards? With the events of Alien Covenant, I actually think it wouldn't make sense to not explain the pilot and the derelict. Having already changed the age of the xenomorph species, it would obviously leave everyone now wondering more and more, what is the space jockey? As always though guys, I can't thank you enough for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more in the future. If you think this video is worth it and you want to support the channel, then please head on over to my Patreon page. The link is in the description box. I've been Mr. H, and until next time, I'll catch you in the comment section.